Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's guest is someone many of you may remember from a previous episode. I'm excited to have Julia Sotas joining us again. Hi, Julia.
Howdy, partners.
And Julia is the author of the new book, A Recipe for Magic. So, for any of you who don't know Julia, uh, Julia Sotas Mattis is a thoughtful leader, author, and certified facilitator of Access Consciousness. She started using Access Consciousness tools in 2011 and changed her mental health using these tools. This started her life in a completely different direction after realizing that she wanted to become a full-time facilitator of Access Consciousness. Julia has been traveling the world everywhere from places like Tokyo, Paris, Australia, Brazil, facilitating Access Consciousness classes for the past 15 years. There's a little bit more. So in her spare time, she has endless hobbies and interests, including decor, directing children's theater, DIY home projects, talking to ghosts and spirits, yoga, international gourmet cooking, watercolor art, competitive piano, horseback riding, 1940s movies, which are awesome. Like I probably know a couple that you would recommend. The art of coffee and hanging out with her husband and three stepkids who are like her younger um, uh, siblings. Yeah. Her podcast, the Trophy Wife podcast, is a wild ride about finding who you are in relationships. And she also does 3-day body class facilitator classes. Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So she also does 3-day body classes. So you're a 3-day body class facilitator. Got those words
Yes.
mixed up there, but hi.
Yes. Hi, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing. I'm doing. I'm doing. I'm excited to talk about the book. The book came out on May 1st, so it's been about a month and a half of, you know, hearing people's feedback after they've read the book. And it's been a lot of fun because a lot of people are saying, I laughed so hard when I read your book. So that is really great. That's part of what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be something warm and fuzzy and something that was going to make people laugh. So that's kind of what it is.
It was really cool because I know that you had sent me a text saying, "Hey, my book came out." And I was like, "Awesome, I'm going to get it." So it is being delivered and I'm super excited. It's called A Recipe for Magic.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Hey, I can read the as much as I can on Amazon, like Kindle." And I really like the intro and the first, I think it goes like through the first chapter into the second, and then it leaves you on a bit of a hanger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the energy I get from it is like, it is really warm and funny and interesting and light and really cool. And I'm really interested to read the rest of it. So, and I know that it probably talks about energy pulls.
It does. It's actually the reason I wrote the book was because energy pulls have been so transformative in my life that I wanted to write the book on them because I knew that it had to be sort of formalized and put into written word so that people had a manual on how to do this amazing stuff.
Mhm. Um, yeah, so like I guess I mean, what do you know about like magic and miracles and mystery? Because I mean, I named my podcast Shauna's Miraculous Podcast, and I just sense that sometimes when you chat or create or connect or create things uh and choose magic and miracles, like you can have a completely different life. So I was wondering what your take on magic is.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I'll talk about magic in a second. I think that one of the precursors to magic is really knowing the energy that you are as a being, as a person, because that's how you start to build your reality in a way that really works for you. Like I actually did a podcast on it yesterday you had announced it. I have a podcast called How to Be a Trophy Wife. which is sort of I mean, my life is not dedicated to being a trophy wife, but it was actually an energy that I was really, really resisting. I was like, I would never be a trophy wife. And putting all that judgment on it was actually really holding up and stopping my receiving. And so with this, podcast that I started to sort of almost get myself out of resistance to being a trophy wife. I I did an episode yesterday and I was my own guest and so I just talked for 30 minutes and it was amazing. Amazing what came up. It was one of my favorite trophy wife conversations.
I
And
know,
it,
I know how you feel.
yeah. When I talk to myself alone, it's amazing.
Who needs people? Just kidding.
Exactly. Exactly.
We love
So
our
I
listeners.
exactly. My house plants heard me.
And your the crystal and the
Yes, I have a beautiful, I have, well, this actually goes back to what we were talking about. I have the most amazing collection of china and crystal, and I love it. I am always searching and finding like new beautiful things for my home. I recently got a um, beautiful white Wedgwood china vase that's like there's a name for it. I can't think of the name. It's a certain type of urn, and it is absolutely beautiful. So I'm always collecting this stuff. This is one of my favorite things. And then I get to like live with it and use it and throw parties with it and get my friends call my parties Gatsby parties because they're lavish. And
awesome.
yeah, and so but it's actually part of what I wanted to say was I think that we want these outside things. Like we want to have a beautiful relationship and a beautiful car and a beautiful house and beautiful china cabinets or well, whatever, if you're old
Gatsby
fashioned
parties.
like
I have a
me and
question
Gatsby
about that.
parties. Yeah. And it's like I can't wait to talk about that. Put a pin in that because I
I
would love to
am
get
writing
back
it
to
down.
that. But like all of those things are because I have been so dedicated to finding out what type of creature I am and finding out who I am as a being. And that for me is the greatest gift that I could give myself. And my desire has always been to change the world and make it a just a lighter, kinder, happier place. And but in order for us to do that, we have to change our own worlds. And we have to make our own worlds a lighter, kinder, and happier place. And that's really what my book is about. But I was saying yesterday on the podcast, and I highly recommend going back and listening to it. Maybe we can add a link here, Shauna, or something.
Sure, 100%.
Because what I was really talking about is how I really was on this quest to find out more about who I was as a being beyond my judgments of me. Because I really hated myself. I was really, really hard on myself. I was vicious and cruel to myself. I was like a freaking Gestapo to myself and was obsessed with making myself perfect and right and, living up to my family's, points of view about everything. And not that my family was even hard on me. They were actually very kind, but I was obsessed with being perfect for them. And that didn't work, and that was very painful. And that got me into a lot of trouble and depression and anxiety and stress. And it hurt my body too. And so I really had to go, okay, do I want to live from this awful, awful, awful judgment of myself? Or do I want to find out like the great things about me, the magic of me? What if I let go of all those judgments and I did not live up to my family's expectations and I walked away from all of it and I got to be me? And so the last 15 years doing Access Consciousness, I'm not like some people are like, oh, Access Consciousness. But for me, it's not about Access Consciousness, although it is the best set of tools I have found anywhere ever. And I have been studying modalities for literally, I started Reiki when I was 2 years old. My mom took me and I loved Reiki. I remember getting my Reiki stones and my Reiki blessings at 2 years old. So I've been doing it for 32 years because I'm 34. And so and I really was studying modalities at 6 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, like obsessed.
It's
And
in your book. There's a bit of it in your book as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, yeah. I talk about asking my parents if I can go to Sunday school and yeah.
Yeah, I read that part. Yeah, that was awesome. Like, I'm going.
Yeah, and it was like I all of that was it I wanted to find out me and the magic that I was. It's not, and I think that sometimes people get confused. They make it about their religion or they make it about the like access consciousness or the modality. All of that stuff, well, access consciousness is there to help you be yourself. It's just tools to be yourself. My only desire for you is for you to be yourself and not be anybody else and live that life that you want. And then going back to the china cabinet, I have found out that as I've been more dedicated to being this magical energy of me
Mhm.
and finding out what that is, my outer world changes and becomes greater and greater to match that. Like, I have a beautiful house, I have a beautiful relationship, I have so many beautiful things in my life, but they've become more beautiful as I've like done the inner work of wanting to be myself and not judge myself. It wasn't the other way around. It's not like, oh, my life's so great because I have all these things. No, I have all these things because I know I'm magical and I know that I'm a gift and I don't judge myself and I actually care about myself. So I'm able to receive all of these wonderful things in my life. We think it's the other way around. Like we go chasing all of these things, but it doesn't get us anywhere. It's just an empty hole when we're still judging ourselves and we're still hard on ourselves. And so that's really what my book is about. It's actually really funny. A lady texted me today and said, "I am laughing my way through your book. It is so funny." And that's what I wanted. I did not want a book that was hard to read or
Yeah,
intense. I wanted something that felt like you were sitting with your best friend and they were telling you a story, a funny story, a happy story, and a story that's going to give you the tools you need to do what I'm talking about, to really become yourself and turn your life around out of the harsh, heavy, vicious judgments that you have of yourself. Because judgment doesn't create anything. We think that it does, we think that through judgment we'll improve. No, it's not how it works at all. Through judgment, we just kill ourselves. We invoke demons. We ruin our lives and our futures through judgment. So,
that's really cool. I think you're really talking to the energy of I've had some people like yesterday I send in some questions and so what I was thinking of was like, well, how can I ask this to um when we're doing this podcast so people can kind of, uh like choose or create the change that they're looking for, especially if they're in a space of um almost like shrouded or and they're looking though people are looking, so this is why we do what we do. We create podcasts. You created a book, you created your podcast, and it's a lot of fun. And what I really admire about you is that like you've always been a very cool, light, bubbly person, like just a really cool person. I remember first meeting you and I was like, and there was like it was very easy to be around you. There was like no point of view, like no judgment. And I was like, that's interesting. And then like because we were doing bars trades and stuff, but there was
mhm.
no like need or want or like, somehow when people get dramatic and significant, there was none of that. And I was like, that's such an interesting space. And
Oh, thanks.
you're welcome. And then like and then reading your book, it's really cool because it's I can almost sense it's really cool because it's called The Recipe for Magic. And I almost get this energetic sense of like the sprinkles of energy and the sprinkles of magic and like the happiness and the tone and everything. And so it seemed and then I know you talk about the energy pools. It was really cool because do you remember the year you came out with your courses on energy pools? I
Yeah,
remember,
that was in 2017, so 9 years ago.
wow, it seems like yesterday. Like it seems like last year. Like it just seems
Yeah.
like the other day.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it was cool because like I think people tend to maybe get in their heads and try and figure it out. And then I always think, oh yeah, energy pool. Because it's like the thinking and the judgments and the wanting and the needing, that doesn't really do a whole lot. But I mean, I don't know if you want to kind of chat about energy pools or
Yeah.
we let the listeners kind of read your book.
Yeah, I mean, read the book because I think the book has like five energy pulls in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, I've been doing a lot of energy pull exercises on calls, but I
Okay.
really invite you to I really invite you to read them in the book because, um, oh, the book is I'm just, I'm just so happy with how it turned out and what it really can offer people. And but it basically, just to explain what an energy pull is, it's a way to manifest, or as we call it in Access Consciousness, actualize everything you desire in life. And so it's a very powerful actualization technique. And I've studied every manifestation technique under the sun, and this is just my favorite because it just works. It's so powerful. It's just so powerful. So if you're interested in learning sort of advanced tools of how to manifest things, that's what an energy pull really is. So they're a lot of fun, and I love doing them. And so the book is really a guide for that, but it's also the story of my life's adventures and how I see in the world. The first line of the book is, "Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm very fucking weird."
Yeah,
And
totally.
that kind of sets the tone for the book. I actually have to thank my editor, Amanda Holland, for that because I was like, what's the first line of the book going to be? And she came up with that. And we put that in, and it's just been a lot of fun because it sets the tone of like, I'm weird. Are you weirder than you realize? And what if you being weird was the key to your happiness? And are you willing to walk away from how you're supposed to be in society in order to be the joy that you are? And I don't mean being weird, like running around naked and offending people. Like, no, my motto is look normal, be strange. Not that I'm looking very normal in my cowboy hat, but I just couldn't take it off.
Awesome.
I was recording my audiobook and I was in my walk-in closet and I looked up and I saw the cowboy hat. The audiobook wasn't going well and I kept having to repeat it. And then I got the hiccups. And then my daughter started blow drying her hair. And because you have to have the house quiet. And then the air conditioning went on. And it was just like, I was like, oh, I was so mad. And so I put on the cowboy hat for luck. And then everything turned around. So I was like, cowboy hat staying on for today.
That's awesome. I love the cowboy hat. I was always looking for cowboy hats and I tried tons on. And one similar to yours with the sides, like the same type of design. It
Mhm.
actually looked pretty cool. So, anyways,
Nice.
that's yeah, it's a good
It's
cowboy
a good
hat.
look.
It
Yeah.
is. Yep, yep, looks very good. Well, okay, this is kind of leads back to the throwing a party, the Gatsby party. Um, that just sounds like so much fun. And you've invited people to your life and your business and everything. So it's like, I guess it's kind of like how do you be the invite to create the parties and the fun and like, because I look at where I'm at and I'm like, well, and it's just me, right? So sometimes I'm just alone and I enjoy being alone. And then there's times when I'm like, oh, like who would I invite to a party? And so I have a family show up once a week and then, it fluctuates from 2 to 5 people every week. And a different thing would be throwing like an actual party. My 40th is coming up.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah. And I'm like, so am I gonna throw a party or am I gonna, so it's like, would you like to talk about throwing lavish parties and what that got?
Sure. I mean, I I like to I just like the joy of it, and I like to see people engaging with each other and engaging with the space and the food and just like so I like to make everything as wonderful as possible. And I do not use paper plates. I use fine china and I use crystal glasses and I use silver flatware and I got these beautiful little bud vases, and then I had some bigger arrangements. My last party, I think I had, including the bud vases, I had, I think, 12 bud vases, and then two huge bouquets, three big bouquets. And um, it was fun. I follow different people on Instagram who like love to throw like beautiful parties, not like tacky parties, but
Mhm.
beautiful parties. There's this girl in Cleveland, Ohio, and she has a small rental house um in Cleveland, and it's just her and her husband and their two cats, and she throws one party every month, and the way that she decorates the house is absolutely beautiful, and a huge part of how she decorates is actually her ceilings, and she puts like beautiful fringe and beautiful like at Christmas she put like 250 like Christmas tree balls on the ceiling with these little stickers. She stuck them up. And so the whole ceiling, and it's just so beautiful what she does. So she's creating beauty all the time and then inviting people to interact with this beauty. And then the food is beautiful. So that's just really what I want to create. And it's not that like the parties are fancy and stuffy. Like this last party that I threw was a make your own. It was for my theater cast, and I hadn't entertained in a while, and I had kind of missed it. So I'm throwing a brunch next month, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to start throwing parties maybe once a month. And
Nice.
um, so I'm throwing a, so I threw, for my cast, a Steel Magnolias theme party. And my character, Julia Roberts' character, gets married in Steel Magnolias. So I threw it based on her wedding. So it was like a very pink, very girly, lots of baby's breath party. And then, but the food was like a make your own pizza party because I wanted people to have something to do in the space too.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of fun. And then afterwards, we went upstairs and watched the play in the room in our living room upstairs, and it's just fun. It's just this energy of being able to gift something. And I think a lot of people don't throw parties too because it costs a lot of money, but you can ask everybody to bring something. People love to bring something, and they want to bring something too because it creates this place where they feel like they have something to gift to. Because coming to a party can be a whole lot of receiving for people and can actually be kind of intimidating. Like people who came to my last party, it's like, I really care about them. And it was my gift to them. And then it's like, you know, they have to be willing to receive that gift, and that can make people uncomfortable because receiving can be very uncomfortable.
Can
So,
be.
so it can be fun. I think in August I'm gonna throw a bring your favorite appetizer and a bottle of wine party. So like
Mhm.
everybody will bring an appetizer, everybody will bring a bottle of wine. I'm gonna make my signature cocktail. Um, and we're just gonna have fun. Like it's like there's no reason not to bring people together and to engage. And I think we just are really out of rhythm on how to do that. And COVID tried to separate us. And so
Mhm.
now we have to bring ourselves back together. And I was talking to a girlfriend who was born and raised in Rome, Italy, and she said that Rome is going through a renaissance right now. She said Rome is amazing. People are going out to clubs, they're getting dressed up to the nines, There's activities during the day. People are doing workshops and yoga and lunches and parties, and they're not on their phones. They want to get together. They want to have a good time. They want to go out to eat dinner. They want to be with their friends. Like, there's so much creativity and so much art and so much entertaining. And she said, usually somebody who's born and raised in a city isn't that enthusiastic about their city and their adulthood. And she's like, I am so grateful to be from Rome. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of everything that's happening in Rome right now because it's just so magical for me. And that's what I want to create the world as, where everybody feels like they're included, nobody is judged, and we really get to be surrounded with this kindness and this love and beauty. I love to create beauty. I took a course on floral arranging, how to make beautiful floral arrangements, because it was actually really, I learned a lot. It was hard for me before. I couldn't really do it. And so I like,
Yeah.
it's hard. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like took a whole course on how to online on masterclass. There's a masterclass about how to
Oh,
arrange
I
flowers.
have
Yeah.
masterclass. Okay,
Dude,
I'll check it out.
it's an amazing master class.
That's
I love it. I
awesome.
do so many master classes. I've learned so much, like how to do makeup and how to do florals and how to cook from the world's best chefs and all kinds of stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, so there's a really good master class on floral arranging. And so I learned how to do that. And I really love the bud vases. You can get 12 bud vases. That's like the little
Yeah.
vases. Yeah. For $20 on Amazon. And they are stunning. They're all different. Every single one's different. They look antique. They're beautiful. So it's just like, and I've also started gearing my Instagram towards like beauty, and I'm putting access tools out there, but I'm like showing them like on beautiful backdrops. Or one of the things I did recently was I made a pumpkin spice latte from scratch and made the syrup from scratch. So I just threw that on my Instagram, and it's just, I threw it on with the question, body, how can you help me take care of myself? Because I want to give tools, but I want to mix it with just like the beauty of living. It's just so infectious.
That's cool. Thanks. Like, yeah, that's it's awesome because like you to incorporate the tools and then put it out there. Like I used to do that with Instagram too. I'd have like photos and then to me it'd be like a cool, artsy, beautiful thing. And then yeah, so anyways,
Yeah, it's a
you
lot
had
of fun.
meant yeah, and it's cool, like you're very aware of, everything you are saying and doing. Because when you said when you create the parties and everything, you kind of said that it can be intimidating and there's receiving and it's an invite. And then how like I've also noticed that I am looking for kind of like what you had talked about Rome, what Rome is doing. Like, so I am going out to yoga and I am going to events and I'm getting out there. So it's really cool, like looking at creating that space because it gives me a great idea. I'm like, well, maybe I can start inviting more people over for like a party or an event or something. And then the space part of like maybe not worrying about, oh, is it big enough as a space?
Oh
I've
my
got
gosh.
more space.
This girl on Instagram, like, she really has a tiny rental. Like, her kitchen is small, and she has like a kind of a small dining room and a small living room, and it's tiny. And this is her full-time job, is her Instagram and throwing these parties every month. And what she does with that small space is so beautiful and so inspiring. And we can all entertain in the space we have. I've spent a lot of time in Manhattan, and in Manhattan, it's like, really small. And I've been invited to so many parties at people's houses, and they put the couches together. They put tables together. They will, push their bed against the wall and entertain in their bedroom. Like, it's like
Mhm.
people love it. It's so eclectic and fun and cozy and we have so many excuses about why we can't, because that's what we're being conditioned for
Yeah.
by the media, by just getting addicted to Instagram and just all these things that people are going through right now. And it's like, I'm loving Instagram because I'm following this girl every day and I'm like, what recipe is she making yet next? What party is she throwing?
Nice.
How is she
Yeah.
putting up her
Yeah.
decorations? I think I've become tidier in my own home after watching her because I just love the way she like handles and moves things physically in the space. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that works. Like it's just an energy that I love. And yeah, so it's been a lot of fun.
And it sounds really cool how you can change a space. Because I have some things I could put on the walls and art, and then the excuses, like one excuse I could make up is, well, I'm waiting until I get really awesome patio furniture.
Hmm.
We all have that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And it's like I invite people to throw like parties as much as you want to, as much as is fun for you. And I think that's the thing. It has to be fun for you. And not all of, not everybody loves to throw parties. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't, it's not for everybody out there, but it's a lot of fun. And what I'm really talking about more is parties are one way that I invite people to more communion and more warmth and more consciousness and more magic. And so we all have different ways of doing that. And so what is that for you? And for you, it sounds like parties is one way for me, and maybe not everybody out there is like that, but a lot of you are. And what is that way for you? What can you create that would be fun? I think I'm gonna put on a class, Shauna, about how to throw a Gatsby party because
I would go. Like, I'm interested. I think it's really cool to expand on that because it's like I have tons of questions. Who do you invite? Um, and then I always know Gary would say things like, well, you know what? I'm not even going to say because I will leave it a mystery. But he would say, people will be doing things. They'll be in your space. And and then, okay, just, I know we're kind of going a bit long here with the time. So, but we could probably talk forever. There's also like I looked at the crystal and the china, and sometimes I think because crystal can be easy to find and it can
Oh
be
yeah,
like a
crystal is
dollar.
like worth nothing these days.
I know, and I'm like, so then I'm like, is this real? So then I have crystal, and I'm like, do I use it? Anyway, so there's funny things with like the
Yeah.
crystal, the china.
Lately I've been they say never put your crystal in the dishwasher, and I've been putting it in the dishwasher and it's coming out great. So
The
I
world's
don't know.
changing.
I'm breaking the rules, but I like it.
Right? Yeah, and like, oh man. So it's like it could be also expanding on and like because what you've with this conversation, you've definitely changed my point of view with like how things have to be versus what could be possible with putting the art up on the walls, but changing it or creating a space with what you have or just being the invite and energies. Um, I know you've said a lot, and I was just wondering if there's anything more you could say to our viewers and listeners out there, what it would be, maybe on definitely
I'm,
read the book, and
yeah, definitely read the book because the book is a party. It's a beautiful book
it is a
and
party. It is.
it really is.
Yeah.
I definitely want you to come to the party of my book.
And then the class on how to have a party.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that soon. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
There's
Please
so much
invite
more to
me.
talk about. Yes, you are
I'll invite
invited to
myself.
that party. You're
Every
invited to that party.
everybody's invited to that party.
Yeah, you are all invited to the party about how to throw a party. And so, and so it's just, I mean, I think the thing that this all comes down to is like, are you judging yourself or are you allowing your life to be fun? Because you can't do both. Judging yourself takes all the fun out of everything. It's a fun sucker. And so you've got to get like, and the way that I really changed me judging me is Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, wrote a book called The Gift of Allowance. And he said, Julia, read the book 10 times. Audiobook doesn't count. Read it cover to cover 10 times. And so I'm halfway through my ninth read. It's taken me 2 years. and it's changed everything for me. It's gotten me out of the most judgment I've ever been. Like, it's freed me more than anything from judgment. So, if you want to get out of judgment fast, read the book 10 times. It's horrible. It's hard to read. It's not it's a beautiful book, but it's
Mhm.
horribly hard to read because as you read it, it's like the judgment is coming out of your pores like a toxin.
You can read it on Kindle, or is he saying the book version? I think
You can
I
read it on Kindle, but he's just saying don't do the audiobook because it's sort of passive. You need to be really active. And I actually got a reading buddy and we read together every Tuesday. So that helps
Nice.
too. Yeah.
Just checking out my bookshelf. Do you have your book with you
Of the
in
gift of
hard copy?
allowance?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. One second, partners. Here it is. It's like a little pocketbook.
Oh, The Gift of Allowance.
Mm-hmm. It's not very
Nice.
thick. I guess
Oh,
it's what's thicker. It's the same
uh,
thickness as my book.
I, sorry, I got mixed in translation and your book as well. Like the recipe for magic. Can we see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That looks great.
It's
Sorry.
such oh, they're both
Ah,
these are two great reads. They'll change your life and
yeah.
just yeah, we got to get out of judgment and it doesn't happen overnight, but you know, you can get there. It's really possible. So, that's my invitation to you guys.
Thanks. Thank you, Julia. I'm really grateful for this conversation because I know I've had people asking me questions. And so what I will do, because if I were to bring up the people who had asked me questions, I think you already talked to what they were their questions were, which
Okay.
yeah, which was like the judgment, body, being you. And I
There's
think
a there's a really good chapter in my book on money and a really good chapter on bodies. So, I highly recommend those two chapters, or like just that part of the book is really good for healing those areas in our lives.
awesome. This was a lot of fun. I am super grateful. We'll put all the links in the podcast. If I have any questions about the links, I'll message you and everything. But
Thank you.
thank you so much. Yeah,
Awesome. It
cool.
was great being here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And I hope to meet you in person someday. Not you,
Thanks,
Shauna. I've already met you in person. Everybody
yes.
listening, I hope to meet you in person.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.